I booked a $9,400 family trip to Japan for my dad's 60th birthday, only to get a text saying, "We gave your spot to Steven's girlfriend, she's more fun." I replied, "Got it." That night, I canceled the whole trip, flights, hotel, everything. When they came back, the locks on the house were changed, the rent had tripled, and their cards were declined at the coffee shop. That was just the beginning. I stared at the text from my mom, blank dots flashing on my phone. It was casual, like she hadn't just thrown away 3 months of planning and $9,400 of my money. "We gave your spot to Steven's girlfriend, she's more fun." No apology, no explanation, just a slap in my face. I simply replied, "Got it." Then I did what no one expected. I canceled everything. Flights, hotels, everything, non-refundable, didn't care. And that night, I changed the locks on the family house. It was in my name. They'd been living there for 5 years without paying, and now it was my turn. But let's rewind. Let me tell you how I got to the point where I could cancel a family vacation, raise the rent on my parents, and cut ties with my brother like I should have years ago. It all started with one dumb idea: to be the good son. My dad was turning 60, and I thought, what better way to celebrate than a family trip to Japan? He always wanted to see the cherry blossoms in Kyoto before his knees gave out. My mom loved sushi. Steven, my younger brother, said he dreamed of eating real ramen. So, I did something no one thought I should. I paid for everything. $9,000 for $100, flights, hotels, train passes, and restaurant reservations. I made the itinerary around my work deadlines. I spent weekends comparing hotel prices and picking locations near shrines and shops. I even upgraded their flights to premium economy. I didn't care about luxury for myself. I booked a budget seat in a small room in Osaka because I thought that's what love looked like. But Steven always made sure I knew my place in the family. Not the favorite, not the fun one, just the guy who pays. So when I saw the text, "We gave your spot to Steven's girlfriend, she's more fun," I wasn't shocked. I was clear-headed. And clarity is dangerous when you've been used for too long. They thought I'd stay quiet, until I didn't. It all started with guilt. That's how they get you. Not love, not obligation, just guilt. My parents never directly asked me for money. They preferred being subtle. "Steven's doing his best." But it's tough for young people these days. You're lucky to have a stable job. Your father and I are proud of you. We just wish Steven had your drive. At first, I helped because I wanted to. Steven was my younger brother, and I thought helping him finish college was the right thing to do. I paid for his tuition, books, and even bought him a laptop when his old one broke. But soon, my help became an expectation. 3 months after he graduated, he hadn't even applied for a job. "Still figuring things out," he said, "playing video games all day." I'd come home after working a 12-hour shift to find him eating takeout in my house, food I paid for, and Mom would say, "He just needs some time, don't pressure him." "Dad." Steven wouldn't even look up from his iPad. "Let the boy breathe," he'd mutter, like I was the problem. It got worse when Steven got a girlfriend, Madison, Mads, as she insisted I call her, moved in after 2 months of dating. No rent, no discussion. She took over my kitchen, Netflix, Wi-Fi. One night, I found her wearing my dress shoes for a TikTok video. "I'm doing a character," she said with a wink. "Don't be weird." Steven laughed. "Relax. She's funny." Funny, that word stuck with me, but I stayed silent. I kept paying. Because family. What would Dad say if we fought? Because I made more than enough. When Steven lost the job I helped him get, I covered his car payments. When Madison totaled her car, I co-signed a loan for a used Mazda. Stupid, I know. And when they said they wanted to join us on Dad's birthday trip, I didn't hesitate. I changed the plans, added more rooms, rebooked hotels, and even adjusted my time off. And what did I get? "We gave your spot to Steven's girlfriend, she's more fun." That wasn't just an insult, it was a wake-up call. That one sentence showed me exactly what I was to my family: useful, a walking wallet. And the worst part? I let it happen. But they weren't done. The morning after they arrived in Tokyo, I got a text from Steven. "Yo, can you wire us some spending money? Mads forgot her card, and Dad says the exchange rates are bad." I didn't reply. An hour later, another text. "Come on, Mun, don't be salty. This is supposed to be about Dad, not you." I nearly threw my phone. They took my spot, my vacation, my moment, and still wanted more. But I stayed quiet, let them enjoy it. Let them post their perfect vacation pictures while I sat at home, alone with my anger, until day 5 of their trip. That's when I got the call from the hotel. "Mr. Adams, the credit card on file for the group reservation has been declined, and there's an issue with the guests listed. A non-authorized person has been added to the suite." So they swapped me out for Madison without telling the hotel and used my card to pay for her spot. They thought I wouldn't notice. That's when it hit me, not the insult, not the money, not even being cut from my father's birthday trip. It was the assumption that I would always take it. So, I logged into my bank account, flagged the charges, shut down my card, and called the hotel. Cancel the reservation, all guests are removed, and please alert security if anyone tries to dispute it. They're not allowed, the manager said, pausing. Sir, they're still in the room. I know, I said, they'll figure out how to get home. The day they came back and found everything had changed. I was in the kitchen when I heard the car door slam. Voices followed, loud and frantic, my mom's high-pitched whining, Stephen yelling, Madison's voice rising above them, angry and sharp. I didn't rush, I just stirred my coffee and waited. Then came the banging, boom, boom, boom. Open the door, Stephen shouted. We know you're in there. I walked to the front door, coffee in hand. I peeked through the peephole. There they were, red-faced and disheveled, luggage piled up on the porch. Madison, Addison, was barefoot for some reason. I unlocked the deadbolt and opened the door just enough to meet their eyes. What happened to our keys? Stephen demanded. I took a sip of my coffee. Oh, you mean the ones I had wrecked? They don't work anymore. Seriously, man? He snapped. Are you serious right now? I nodded. Dead serious. Mom pushed past him. We just got off a 14-hour flight. We're exhausted, hungry. You're trespassing, I said. This is private property. You're joking, Madison cut in, her voice mocking. You're locking out your own family? I stared at her for a moment, then said flatly, you're not my family. Her jaw dropped. Stephen looked at me, wide-eyed. Okay, wow, this is messed up, he said. We were stranded in Osaka with no money, no hotel, no Wi-Fi. Do you have any idea how that felt? Must have been tough, I said. Imagine being stuck in a foreign country on someone else's dime. Oh, wait, that's what you did. Stephen's face turned red. You humiliated us, you cancelled everything. We couldn't even get a cab to the airport. They froze the cards, they froze everything. Yeah, I said, folding my arms. That tends to happen when you commit credit card fraud. Mom gasped. Fraud? Oh, don't be dramatic. I held up my phone, showing a screenshot of the hotel manager's email. Unauthorized guest, charges disputed. Stephen, did you or did you not add Madison to the suite using my name? He opened his mouth, then closed it. Looking at Madison, she shrugged. I stepped aside and let them see into the house. Not that there was much left. The couch was gone. Dining table, gone. All the furniture they used to lounge on like they owned the place, donated. The walls were bare. I'd cleared out everything they touched. You emptied the house, Mom said, stepping forward. Correction, I said. My house. Stephen clenched his fists. We lived here for years without paying rent, I added, without contributing, without respect. Mom's face twisted. We're your family. This is disgusting. You're punishing us for one mistake. I laughed once. One mistake? You stole my vacation, used my credit, threw me out of my own plans for my father's birthday because I wasn't fun enough. Do you even hear yourselves? You're being petty, Madison said, rolling her eyes. You're mad because we had a better time without you. That's when I stepped fully outside and closed the door behind me. You think this is about Japan? I asked quietly. You think this is about one trip? No, this is about every moment I sacrificed for you, every dollar I gave, every time I let you stay here rent-free while you laughed behind my back. We didn't, Mom started. You did, I cut in, all of you, and now I'm done. Stephen shook his head in disbelief. So what, we're homeless now? No, I said. You've got 2 weeks, rent's tripled, utilities are on you, and the guest suite's locked. If you want to stay, you pay. He scoffed. You can't be serious. Madison folded her arms. You can't just evict us. Actually, I said, pulling a copy of the lease from my coat pocket, I can, it's legal, it's done. And your credit cards? Declined this morning at the coffee shop. I got a notification. The silence hit like a bomb. I turned to walk back inside. Stephen lunged after me, grabbing my arm. Wait, please, he said, his voice cracking. You don't understand. I don't have anywhere to go. Madison, she thought this trip would make us closer to the family. She didn't mean to hurt you. Madison opened her mouth to argue but stopped when she saw Stephen crying. I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt nothing. No pity, no rage, just a clean, cold emptiness. You were my brother, I said, and you traded me for entertainment value. That's not a family, that's a reality show. Then I walked inside, locked the door, and left them standing there in the cold. They came back to a new world, one without me. 3 days, that's how long it took for the real chaos to start. The first morning after their return, it was quiet, too quiet. I expected yelling, guilt trips, maybe a flurry of texts in the family group chat, but nothing. I had breakfast alone, coffee, a croissant, and a strange, satisfying peace. It was a silence I hadn't felt in years, not the kind you hear, the kind you carry inside you. By day 4, my phone finally lit up. "Can we talk? Mom, I'm sorry about what happened. We all made mistakes. Please don't do this to your father." I didn't reply, not because I had nothing to say, but because I didn't owe them anything anymore. For the first time, I felt no obligation to explain myself to people who never listened. Then the real fallout began. Their cards were blocked. Madison tried to buy coffee downtown, declined twice. I got the notification and smiled. She posted a story, "Some people are just vindictive." She deleted it 5 minutes later. The rent? A week after the new lease went into effect, it tripled. I got an email. "Hi, we're struggling with the new rent. Could we discuss alternatives?" No name, just the family account. I ignored it. Jobs, Steven, who'd spent years lounging in my house without a proper job, suddenly started picking up part-time gigs. A friend at the gym told me Steven was now folding towels at the front desk. I didn't feel pity. I moved into a small loft apartment downtown, concrete floors, tall windows, minimalist everything, no family-style clutter, no borrowed shoes in the hallway, no half-eaten leftovers. I woke up at 7 o'clock, hit the gym, worked from home, took walks in the evening, and for the first time in years, every moment, every dollar, every breath belonged to me. No texts asking for money, no guilt trips, no calls from mom saying, "It's your brother, how can you say no?" Just quiet. In week 2, Steven finally texted, "I know I messed up, I really do. Mads left. She said she didn't sign up for this. I get it now. You were right." I stared at it for a long time. This was the same Steven who laughed at my plans, said I was too serious, that I didn't know how to have fun. Now he was alone, abandoned by the fun girlfriend, forced to face the mess without his human credit card. I didn't reply. Then, the real bomb dropped, a letter from a lawyer. My lawyer told me my parents are trying to claim part of the house, saying they helped pay for it over the years, but they haven't provided any proof. I just laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so ridiculous. They always thought if I had something, they had a right to it. I remembered my mom always saying, "This is a family home, sweetheart, what's yours is ours," but now, ours meant nothing. Mom sent another message, "We didn't raise you to be like this. What would Dad think?" I replied, "You raised me to serve you. That ends now." What shocked me wasn't their anger, it was how quickly they fell apart without me. Steven was working long shifts, struggling to pay bills. Mom was calling old friends, the same ones she used to mock for having ungrateful kids. Dad stayed quiet as always. He'd been silent through every fight, every insult, every betrayal. He always stayed neutral. And now, they were living in the world they created, one where I wasn't there to fix everything. As for me, I sat on a new couch in a new apartment, drinking coffee without anyone criticizing me, surrounded by things I chose. For the first time, I wasn't being used. For the first time, I didn't have to please people who never cared about me. And for the first time, I wasn't angry. I was free. I was never the problem. I was the solution they took advantage of. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than shouting. 3 months have passed since I stopped helping them. No more free rent, no more doing favors for my brother, no more pretending family means love instead of taking advantage. I thought I'd feel guilt or sadness, maybe loneliness, but no, I feel something stronger, peace. I wake up now without dreading the next request, the next manipulation disguised as a favor. I don't flinch when my phone buzzes. I don't brace myself for guilt trips. I feel like I've stepped out of a fog, and I can finally breathe. A week ago, I found an old box while unpacking. It was full of family photos, birthday cards, and a folder labeled "Family Stuff." Inside were airline tickets, vacation receipts, hotel confirmations, all in my name. Every family memory was built on my credit card. They always called me cold, but I was the one who kept things going. I looked through a few photos, and in every one, I was smiling, paying for things, taking care of everyone, while they relaxed, like passengers on a ride they didn't have to steer. I used to think that made me strong. Now I realize it just made me invisible. They didn't love me, they loved what I could do for them, and when I stopped being useful, they stopped loving me. Steven hasn't messaged me since Madison left. I heard from a friend that he moved into a basement apartment and started delivering food. I don't feel sorry for him. I feel nothing because now his life is his responsibility, not mine. Madison wiped her social media clean, deleted our old photos, and unfollowed everyone. Her fun ended when the free lifestyle did. Mom sent one last text, "We didn't raise you to be like this. We miss who you used to be." I replied, "You miss the version of me who never said no." He's gone. Dad stayed silent. He always did. He watched everything fall apart, sipping his coffee, never speaking up. That was worse than yelling. His silence made him complicit. I stopped waiting for closure from them, so I gave it to myself. One night, I sat alone with a glass of wine. watching the lights flicker in other apartments. For the first time, the quiet felt earned. That night, I wrote something on a sticky note and put it on my mirror. I owe no one more than I owe myself. Every morning since, I've read it like a prayer. Funny thing, now they call me distant. They say I've changed. You bet I did. I used to be the bridge they walked on. Now I'm the ocean they can't cross. A few days ago, Steven's ex, Lisa, sent me a message. We never really spoke when they were together, but she'd always been kind. She said, "You were the only one who saw through it. The way they treated you. It was wrong. I'm glad you left. You saved yourself." That hit me harder than it should have because I'd started to think I was the problem. Lisa reminded me I wasn't crazy. I was just the first to wake up. I used to think walking away was selfish. Now I know it's self-preservation. They taught me that love came with sacrifice, but it was always my sacrifice, never theirs. They called me cruel. I call it clarity. They called me heartless. I call it healing. They called me selfish, but only after I stopped being theirs. And the best part? I don't hate them. I don't want them to suffer. I just don't owe them anything anymore. And that freedom feels like breathing for the first time. Next week, I'm flying to Iceland, a solo trip. I've always wanted to see the northern lights. I never went because there was always someone else's emergency, someone else's drama, someone else's vacation at my expense. Not anymore. This time, I'm going for me, and when I stand under that glowing sky, far from everything I used to carry, I'll finally say it. I am not your safety net. I am not your plan B. I am not your bank, your backup, or your fool. I am me, and for the first time, that's enough.